Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Crochet for Baby. Thanks for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this little romper for baby girls between 6 and 9 months old. It's very easy to make. Now you can also make the matching headband. I already have the tutorial in my channel. Just click the little lamb next to my channel name and it'll take you to my main channel page. You will find the tutorial there. Now this little romper, like I said, is for baby girls between 6 and 9 months old, but you can easily make it smaller or bigger. Down here in the information box, I'm going to leave some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger from a newborn baby up to 18 months, so be sure to check that out. Also, if you prefer a written pattern, check out my Etsy shop. I'll go ahead and leave the link in the comments and in the information box below. Also, at the end of the tutorial, I leave you the finished measurements, and remember, all of my tutorials are always in English and in Spanish. Okay, so let's get started, and thank you for watching. Okay, to begin, I'll be using this 3mm crochet hook, and today I'll be using this cotton yarn. It's by Premier. This is the brand, Premier Cotton Sprout. This is a light number 3 cotton yarn in this color peach. I'm going to go ahead and use cotton since this little outfit here is going to be perfect for the summer. Now, you can also use any DK weight yarn. Here, to begin, I have 73 chains. This chain here is measuring about 14 inches, which is about 35.5 centimeters. Now, if you're off by 1 or 2 centimeters, it's okay, just continue with the next step. Here, to begin, on the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to make a double crochet. The 3 chains here at the beginning in this row count as the first double crochet. So I have 2. I'm going to make a total of 9. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here's the front panel. So now I'm going to do the sleeve. So chain 2 and into the next chain make a double crochet. Now for the sleeves, I'm going to make 17 double crochets. So that's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let me count them again just to make sure. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Perfect. This is the sleeve. So now chain 2, and now we're going to make the back side. So here for the back, I'm going to do 19. So into the next chain, make a double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now chain 2 and into the next chain make a double crochet. This is going to be the other sleeve, so again we're going to make 17 double crochets. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Chain 2, and here we should finish with 9 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. So for this front panel again, make 9 double crochets. Continue, and I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, I finished this first row. I finished these last 9 double crochets. So we have 9, 17, 19, 17, and 9. That's a total of 71 double crochets for the first row. Now for the second row, chain 1 and turn. This chain here never counts as a stitch. Now beginning on top of the first double crochet right here, make a double crochet. Into the second double crochet, make a double crochet. Now this is where the pattern is going to start. Chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, and into the next one, in this case it's the 4th, make a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, and into the next, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, and into the next, a double crochet. Chain 1, skip this last double crochet for the front panel, and inside the chain 2 space make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. Chain 1. Now skip the first double crochet, and into the second make a double crochet, chain 1. Skip 1 double crochet, and into the next, a double crochet. This is all I'm going to do until I come to the next chain 2 space, and the rest you're going to work on your own. It's easy. All you do is just skip 1 and then chain 1, like this. Skip 1 double crochet, chain 1. Skip 1 double crochet, chain 1. Here at the end, skip the last double crochet for the sleeve, and inside the chain 2 space make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. And this is all we're going to do for the rest of these stitches here. You're going to, let me start you here. So chain 1 now, skip the first double crochet for the front, and into the next, a double crochet. chain one, skip one double crochet and into the next, double crochet, chain one, skip one and into the next, double crochet, chain one. And that's all you're going to do from here on. This other chain two space is going to look exactly like this here. You're always going to have one last double crochet, and inside you're going to work this fan, and then you're always going to begin by skipping the first double crochet and into the second, do your double crochet. Don't forget to chain one, because in the next row we're going to come and do just double crochets into each one of these chain one spaces and on top of the double crochets. I'm here at the end of this second row. I still have 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. The last one is the 3 chains. Here to finish, don't forget to chain one, skip this next double crochet, and into the last 2 make a double crochet into each one. Here at the end we're going to finish with 2 double crochets, and we're always going to start with 2 double crochets. And that's what it looks like. Now if you count each one of the double crochets, including these here inside the chain 2 space, you should have a total of 51 double crochets separated by 1 chain. Now for the third row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now from here on, these are the 2 rows that we're going to repeat, the second and the third. So for the third here, beginning on top of this last double crochet that I did, make a double crochet, double crochet into the next double crochet here right on top, and into each one of the chain 1 spaces you're going to make a double crochet, and on top of each one of the double crochets. So in this row, this is all we're doing. We're just making 1 double crochet into each one of the chain 1 spaces and 1 double crochet into the on top of the double crochets like this. And these are the 2 rows that we're going to repeat from here on. Here we have the next corner, we have the 2 double crochets. Same thing, make a double crochet into each one, and then inside the chain 2 space make again your fan. For every corner we're going to do the same thing regardless of which row you're working. So 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, and then again start this other side, making a double crochet on each one of the double crochets and into each one of the chain 1 spaces. And that's all we're going to do for this third row. Continue like this, and I will meet you at the end of this third row. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have 103 double crochets. Now for the fourth row, we're going to repeat the same thing we did on the second row. So here, chain 1, turn, and remember that when we do this row here, we always begin by making 2 double crochets at the beginning like this. So on top of this last double crochet, make a double crochet, on top of the next a double crochet. Here are the 2 double crochets. Now chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, and into the next a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next and into the next a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next double crochet, chain 1, skip the last double crochet for this front panel, and inside the chain 2 space make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets. And then to begin the next side, skip the first double crochet, but first don't forget to chain 1. So skip the first double crochet and into the next a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next double crochet, chain 1, and so on. Each one of your corners is going to look exactly like this one here. Okay, so continue for this fourth row, and I'll meet you again here at the end to show you once again how to finish and how to start your next row. I'm here at the end of the fourth row. Here at the end, I have 3 double crochets left. 1, 2, 3. Chain 1, skip one, and into the last two, make one double crochet here at the end. Remember that for this row, we always end with 2 double crochets, and we always begin with 2 double crochets. At the end of this 4th row, now you should have 67 double crochets separated by 1 chain, except here. So now from here on, you're going to repeat these 2 rows. So for the 5th row, this is where we need to do double crochets. So chain 1 and turn. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet on top of the next, double crochet into the chain 1 space, and on top of the double crochet. This row is easy. All you do is just double crochets. So I'm going to continue until I come to the corner here just to show you. I think by now you get how this stitch is worked. Just repeat the 2 rows from here on. Okay, here's the chain 2, so just make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, and then continue for the next side, doing the exact same thing. Okay, this is all we're going to do. We're going to repeat these 2 rows. Now at the end of this 5th row, you should have 135 double crochets. Now I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here for the rest of the yoke, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So continue like this, just repeat these 2 rows, and I will meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished row 5, 6, and 7. At the end of the 5th row, you should have had 135 double crochets. At the end of the 6th row, there should have been 83 double crochets separated by 1 chain. And then at the end of this 7th row, I have 167 double crochets. And the yoke is done. Now this part here, right across here, it's measuring about 4 inches, which is about 10 centimeters, and the waist, just the top, it's measuring about 7.5 inches, which is about 19 centimeters. So now what I'm going to do here is we are going to join to the first double crochet of this row right here so that we can divide the sleeves in the next row. So make a slip stitch on top of the first double crochet. Now for the first row, we're going to start counting rows here. Since we're going to divide the sleeve, we're going to chain 2, and into this same stitch here where I did the slip stitch, make a double crochet. Now I'm going to continue with the same pattern, so chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, and into the next make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, make a double crochet, chain 1, and then I'm going to continue like this until I come to the first corner. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, skip 1 and into the next. That's 5,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
11. I have 11 double crochets separated by 1 chain. The 2 chains here at the beginning do not count as a stitch. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so now chain 1, and we have the first corner here. We're going to make 3 double crochets inside this chain 2 space. Now to divide the sleeve, chain 3, skip these double crochets, and into the second corner right here, you're going to make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And here's the first sleeve. Now if you want to add more chains under the sleeve, you can. For the size that we're making this for, I think it's perfect with just 3 chains. Now we're going to continue along and work these double crochets for the other side. So chain 1, and beginning on top of the first double crochet right here, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, and into the next double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet and into the next double crochet, chain 1, and so on. Here you're just going to continue with the same pattern until you come to the third corner where we're going to divide the second sleeve. So continue, and I'll meet you right here to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making these double crochets for this front side. If I count these 3 double crochets, I have 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25 double crochets. Now to divide the other sleeve, chain 1, and inside this third corner make 3 double crochets, chain 3, skip these double crochets, and into the fourth corner here make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to finish this row. We just need to work these double crochets here. So chain 1, and beginning on top of the first double crochet for this side, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, and into the next double crochet, chain 1, and so on. Continue, finish this first row, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I'm here at the end of this first row. Now here to finish, we're just going to go on top of the first double crochet and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the first row. This is where we divided the sleeves. Now, if I count each one of these double crochets, I have a total of 56 double crochets. I have 28 for the back side and 28 for the front side. Now for the second row, we're going to do the following. We're going to chain 2, and into this same stitch where I did the slip stitch, which is the first double crochet, make a double crochet. Now into this chain 1 space, make a double crochet. On top of the double crochet, make a double crochet, and so on. Here we're just going to continue like this until I come to the first sleeve here, right here where we have the 3 chains. So continue, and I will meet you right about here to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making these double crochets. I have 25 double crochets, not including the 2 chains. Now we have the 3 chains here under the sleeve. Into the first chain right here, make a double crochet. Into the second chain, make 2 double crochets. And into the third chain, this one here, make 1 double crochet. And this is all we're going to do here under the sleeve. Into the first chain we did 1 double crochet, into the second we did 2, and into the third chain 1 double crochet. You're going to do the exact same thing under this second sleeve. Now we're going to continue along and work these double crochets for the front side in the exact same way. So beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet, into the next a double crochet, into the chain 1 space here, make a double crochet, and so on. This is all we're going to do here. When you come to the second sleeve here, you're going to do the same thing. 1 double crochet into the first chain, 2 double crochets into the second, and 1 double crochet into the third, and then continue along and finish this second row. I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, I'm here at the end of this second row. I have a total of 109 double crochets. Now to finish, go on top of the first double crochet and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the second row with 109 double crochets. Now for the third row, we're going to start our pattern here. So chain 4, and into the same stitch here, make a double crochet. And here's the first V-stitch for this third row. Now to make the next V-stitches, you're going to skip 1, 2, 3, and into the fourth double crochet, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to make a double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. Each one of the V-stitches is going to consist of a double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. Again, skip 1, 2, 3, and into the fourth, make another V-stitch. Skip 1, 2, 3, and into the fourth, another V-stitch. Continue like this to the end of this third row. Okay, I'm almost done with this third row. Up to here I have 26 V-stitches. Now I need to make 2 more because I want to make sure that in this row I have even number of V-stitches so that when we divide for the legs, it's much easier. So what I'm going to do here, between the first V-stitch and the last, I'm going to add 2 more V-stitches, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double crochets here left. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to skip 1, 2, and into the third double crochet I'm going to make my next V-stitch, and then again skip 1, 2, and into the third make my last V-stitch. And now I have 28 V-stitches for this third row. Now to finish, we're going to go here to the side where we have these chains and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the third row with 28 V-stitches. Now for the fourth row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to a slightly bigger hook. I'm going to stop using this 3mm hook, and I'm going to use this 3.5mm hook. Now if you're making this smaller or bigger and you're using a different hook size, just go up half a hook size. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, and beginning here we have the chains, which counts as 1 double crochet. So work a front post double crochet. Inside this chain space here of this V-stitch, you're going to do 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, and then a front post double crochet. Again, let me show you into the next V-stitch. Work a front post double crochet, 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets into this chain 2 space, and then a front post double crochet. One more time, front post double crochet, 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets inside the chain 2 space, and then a front post double crochet. This is all we're going to do for this fourth row. So continue and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this fourth row. This is where we did these fans. Now to finish this row, we're always going to go here to the side where we have this chain and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished this fourth row with a total of 28 fans. Now for row 5, what we're going to do is we need to do 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3. So that I'm here inside this chain 2 space. So beginning into this next double crochet, make a slip stitch, into the next one, slip stitch, and then inside the chain 2 space, another slip stitch. Now here we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now inside this chain space, make a double crochet. Here's the first V-stitch. Now inside each one of the fans in the chain 2 space, you're going to do the V-stitches. Each one of the V-stitches again is going to consist of a double crochet, 2 chains, 1 double crochet. And that's all we're going to do for this 5th row. Now continue like this and I will meet you at the end of this 5th row. I'm here at the end of this 6th row. This is where we did V-stitches. To finish this row, we're just going to go here to the side where we have these 5 chains and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finish this row. I have 28 V-stitches. From here on, we're always going to have 28 V-stitches and 28 fans when we do the row of fans. So now for the 6th row, I'm going to repeat this row of fans. From here on, these are the 2 rows that we're always going to repeat. So to do this, you're going to chain 1, and right here to the side where we have these 5 chains, these chains here counts as 1 double crochet, so we're going to work a front post double crochet. Inside the chain space here, we're going to do our fan of 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, and then finish this fan by making a front post double crochet again. Now we have the next V-stitch, so work a front post double crochet. Inside the chain 2 space, make your fan. and finish with a front post double crochet again. This is all we're going to do, so continue, finish this 6th row, and I'll meet you once again here at the end of this row to show you how to finish this row of fans and how to begin your row of V-stitches. Okay, I'm here at the end of this 6th row. This is where we did these fans. Now to finish this row, you're always going to go here to the side where we have the chain and join with a slip stitch. And this is how you're going to finish this row from here on. Now, like I said previously, we're going to repeat these 2 rows, the row of fans and the row of V-stitches. So in the next row, row 7, I need to make the row of V-stitches. So to do this row, all you have to do is make 3 slip stitches. So beginning into this first double crochet, make a slip stitch, into the next a slip stitch, and inside this chain 2 space a slip stitch. Now chain 5, and into this same space make a double crochet. Here's the first V-stitch to this 7th row. Now inside each one of the fans you're going to do your V-stitches. And remember, each V-stitch consists of a double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. And that's all we're going to do for this 7th row. Now, when you finish this row, you're just going to continue all around like this. You're going to go here to the side, make a slip stitch, chain 1, and then repeat the row of fans in the exact same way I showed you here. A front post double crochet, 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets inside this chain 2 space, and then finish with a front post double crochet, and then repeat the same thing for each one of the V-stitches. Now, I'm not exactly sure how many rows I'm going to do from here on, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do, and all we're going to do are repeat these 2 rows. So I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, finished making this part here. I have a total of 16 rows, including these 2 rows that we have here, the row where we divided the sleeves, and then this next row. For the pattern rows, I have 14 rows. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Now, I finished the 14th row, so what we're going to do next is we're going to divide the legs. Now, if you want to do this as a little dress, you can also do it in the same way. I would just add a couple more rows and you're going to have a beautiful little dress as well. I think I'm going to do a tutorial with a version of the little dress, so stay tuned for that. But here we're going to work this little romper. So here what we're going to do is, I finished here, I joined to the beginning, cut my yarn, passed my yarn through this last loop. Now we have a total of 28 fans. If you divide 28 by 2, that's 14. So what I did was I counted 14 fans, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and then I put a stitch marker. So for the front here, I have 4 fans, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then for the back side, I have 4 fans, 1, 2, 3, 4, and for each of the legs, you should have 10 fans. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to turn this like this. This next row, we're going to work from the inside out, so from the wrong side out. So we're going to go here to the back. See, this is the back here, and we have our 4 fans. Fan number 1, 2, 3, and 4. To the side of fan number 1, right here, in between these 2 fans, right here, insert your hook and grab a loop. Make sure you do this row from the inside out. We're going to do this row of V-stitches like this because if I do it on the right side, my fans are going to be on the wrong side, and I want to keep my fans on the right side as well. So here, chain 3, go on top of this first fan inside this chain 2 space, make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Here's the V-stitch, and then I'm going to do the same thing for each fan. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Here we're going to chain 1 for these V-stitches. And then jump to the next and do the same thing. Okay, I have 4 V-stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus these chains here at the beginning. Now to finish, we're going to go right between these two fans in the center right here. We're going to make a double crochet. And this is how I finish the first row. Now for the second row, chain 3 and turn. We're going to work the row of fans here. So beginning into this first double crochet of this first V-stitch, make a front post double crochet. Inside the chain 1 space, make your fan of 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 2 double crochets. And then finish with a front post double crochet. Now we have the next V-stitch, same thing, front post double crochet. Inside the chain 1 space, make 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 2 double crochets, and then front post double crochet. I'm going to do the same for the next 2. And here at the end, we're going to finish by making a double crochet into the 3rd chain here at the end. Perfect. Here's the second row here for this part. We have the V-stitch row, a fan row. Now for the 3rd row, chain 3 and turn. Inside each one of these fans, we're going to make 3 double crochets. Finish this row by making a double crochet on top of the 3rd chain here at the end. Perfect. Here's the 3rd row. Now for the 4th row, chain 1, turn. Here we're going to work single crochets. So beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a single crochet, and on top of each one of the double crochets here. We should finish with 14 single crochets because we had 4 of these fans here. Each one had 3, that's 12, plus the 3 chains and the last double crochet, that's 14. Here's the last double crochet and 1 last single crochet into the last chain there. Perfect. Now we're going to repeat this row. So chain 1, turn, and make 1 single crochet for each one of these 14 single crochets. When you finish, chain 1, turn, and then repeat the same thing. Now this is all we're going to do, so continue and I'll meet you back once we have a total of 6 rows. Okay, I finished making these 6 rows here of single crochets. This is what it looks like. Now we're going to do the exact same thing we did here on this side. We're going to do it here on this side. This here is the right side. See, here's the little yoke. And now we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to turn this like this. Now this first row, we're going to work the row from the inside out. So beginning here, we have the 4 fans. So next to the first fan, right in between these 2 fans, right here, insert your hook, grab a loop, bring it through the front, and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now inside each one of these fans, you're going to do a V-stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Here I'm going to start you off, just show you this first row, and then you're going to do the rest on your own. It's done exactly in the same way we did the other side. Here's the 4th V-stitch. Now in between these 2 fans, make a double crochet. And here's the first row. Now for the second row, chain 3 and turn. And here we're going to work a front post double crochet inside the V-stitch. Make your fan of 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets, and finish with a front post double crochet. You're going to do the exact same thing for each one of the V-stitches, and then finish this row by making a double crochet here at the end on top of the 3rd chain, then chain 3 and turn, and you're going to do this row where we do 3 double crochets inside the fans, and then finish this part here. So continue, finish this side, and I'll meet you back to show you what we need to do next. Okay, finish making these 6 rows of single crochets for the front side. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do this leg here to my left. This is the back side, so this is the front. This row we're going to work from the inside out. So I'm not going to cut my yarn here because I'm just going to continue along making this next row. So here we're going to chain 1, and into this last single crochet that I did, make a single crochet. Here I'm going to work 1 single crochet for each of these single crochet rows, and I'm going to have 6 single crochets. Perfect. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now we have a double crochet, a chain 3 space, and a double crochet. Into the double crochet, make 2 single crochets. Into the next row where we have the chains, 2 single crochets, and then 2 single crochets here at the end. Here we should have 12 single crochets. We have 6 and then 6 here, that's 12. Now we have the 10 fans around the leg. For this row, what we're going to do is into the first fan, make 3 double crochets inside the chain 2 space. Into the next one, make 4 double crochets. 2, 3, 4. Into the next one, 3, and into the next 4. This is how we're going to continue, just alternating between 3 and 4, 3 and 4. So into the next one, 4, and so on. Continue, finish these 4 double crochets. Into this next one, you're going to do 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, and then finish with 4 here at the end. I'll meet you at the end right here to show you how we're going to work this part, and then continue on with the second row. Okay, I finished making these double crochets, and I have a total of 35 double crochets. We have 7, 14, 21, 28, 35 double crochets here. Now we're going to make 12 single crochets along this side here, just like we did for the other side. So beginning here where we have these 3 chains, make 2 single crochets, 2 single crochets for the next row. That's 4 single crochets, 5 and 6, and then we have 6 rows here, so 1 single crochet for each row. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 12 single crochets here. 12, 35 double crochets, and then 12 single crochets for this other side. Now for the second row, chain 1, turn. Here we're going to work these 12 single crochets. So beginning into the first one, make your first single crochet, into the next, and so on. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 single crochets. Now we have the first double crochet here. So into the first double crochet here, work a front post double crochet. Into the next, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, and back post double crochet. Front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, and then again back post double crochet, and so on. We're just going to continue like this, alternating between a front post and a back post double crochet until you come to the last double crochet here. I will meet you right about here to show you how we're going to finish these last 12 single crochets, and then I'll show you the third row. Okay, I finished making these front post and back post double crochets for this part here, and then I finished these last 12 single crochets. So now for the third row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now in this row, what I'm going to do is into each one of these 12 single crochets, we're going to make half double crochet. So beginning on top of the first single crochet, yarn over, insert your hook there, and make your first half double crochet, then half double crochet into the next, half double crochet into the next, and so on until we have 12 half double crochets here for this part. Okay, this is the last half double crochet. I have 12 half double crochets here, and then I have the first double crochet here. We have a back post double crochet, so here I'm going to change to front post and back post half double crochets. So here make a back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and so on. That's all I'm going to do until I finish this third row. For this part here, we're going to work front post and back post half double crochets. Remember, we always have 35 stitches for this part here, and then we're going to work 12 half double crochets. So continue, finish this third row, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I finished making these 12 half double crochets here. I'm at the end of the third row, so we have 12 half double crochets here, 35 front post and back post half double crochets, and then 12 half double crochets. Now for the fourth row, chain 1, turn. Now here what we're going to do is on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now into the next half double crochet, work a back post half double crochet. Next one, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and so on. Here for this part, I'm just going to work either a front post or back post half double crochet until I come to the center stitches, the 35 that we have there. Okay, here's my last half double crochet out of these 12, and then I have the next 35 half double crochet. So here we have this first stitch here. It's a front post half double crochet, so work a front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and so on. This is all we're going to do. We're just going to continue with the same front post and back post half double crochets, and then for this part here you're going to do the same thing. This one is a front post half double crochet, so this one's going to be a back post half double crochet, front, back, and so on until you finish here. I'll meet you at the end of this fourth row. Okay, I finished making this fourth row. Here at the end, I just did my last half double crochet on top of my last stitch, then cut my yarn and pass my yarn through this last loop, and this part here is done. So this here, this is the front side, so this is the right side. So now we're going to do the left side. So we're going to go here to the back side. This is where we finished this last row single crochets for this part here. So you can either attach your yarn here, or you can just go on top of this last single crochet here. And this row we're going to work the row from the inside out, just like we did here on this side. We started here though. So here, make sure that you're on the back side. See, here's the back. So on the back side, grab a loop or attach your yarn back to this end, but I'm just going to grab a loop here. Chain 1, and into this same single crochet here, make a single crochet. Now if you remember, for this part here we did 1 single crochet for each one of these 6 rows, and then we did 6 single crochets here, so that we have 12 single crochets for this part. So let's make these 6 single crochets. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochets, and then we have this double crochet, make 2 single crochets there, and then 2 single crochets here into the next row, and 2 single crochets here. So I have 12 single crochets here for this part. And now remember, we have 10 fans. For each one of the fans, we're going to alternate between 3 double crochets and 4. 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, until we have 35 double crochets for this part here, just like we did on the other side. So beginning inside this chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets, into the next 4 double crochets, and 3, and so on. This is how you're going to continue. 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4 until you have 35 double crochets here. Then you're going to continue and make these last 12 single crochets. 2, 4, 6, and then 6 here. That's 12. I'll meet you at the end of this first row. Okay, I finished making these 12 single crochets. For the center, I have 35 double crochets, and then for this side here, I have 12 single crochets as well. Now, for the second row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now, we're going to do this part exactly as we did the other side. So here, I'm just going to start you off here, the second row, and then you're going to finish the next part. So single crochet here on each one of these single crochets until we have 12 single crochets. Like this, and then we're going to work front post double crochet here into this first double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, and then front post double crochet, and so on. You're going to continue like this, alternating between front post and back post double crochets, and then here you're going to finish by making 12 single crochets, and that's how you're going to finish the second row. For the third row, you're going to chain 1, turn, and then work 12 half double crochets for this part, and then we're going to switch to half double crochets here for this part, and you're going to work the stitches in the same way, front post and back post half double crochets until you come to this other side. Here you're going to finish by making 12 half double crochets. Then you're going to finish this third row, chain 1 and turn for the fourth row, and then work one last row of front post and back post half double crochets, and that's all you're going to do until we complete this part. So continue, finish this side, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making this last row for this side, and this part here is done. So both legs are done, and this is what it looks like. This here is the back side, and it's the right side. It's not on the inside, this last row that I did. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to continue along this part here, and I'm going to make 3 more rows of single crochets. In the second row, I'm going to show you how you're going to make your buttonholes if you plan to use regular buttons for this part here. I plan to use snap buttons just like I have done here with this other little outfit. So I'm going to do the same. So here what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, and then into this last half double crochet make a single crochet, and then a single crochet into each one of these 4 rows. So that's 3. Okay, and then we have these stitches here along the top. We're going to make 1 single crochet for each one here. Okay, so here I'm going to finish by making these last single crochets here. So here's the first row. I have 22 single crochets. So for the next row, you're going to chain one and turn. And in this row is where you're going to make buttonholes. So to make your buttonholes, you're going to decide how many buttonholes you want to make. I'd recommend maybe 4 here for this part. So let's say we're going to make one right here. So you're going to make a single crochet on top of this first single crochet on top of the next. Then you're going to chain one, skip one single crochet, and into the next a single crochet, and then continue making single crochets until you come to the next space where you're going to make your second buttonhole. And then you're going to do it in the same way. See, here's this chain one space, and here's the buttonhole. Now continue, make your buttonholes. Here at the end, you're going to chain one, turn, and then come back and work these single crochets into the chain one space. All you have to do is just make a single crochet inside, and then finish that third row. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not going to add buttonholes to mine. I'm just going to use the snap button, so I'm just going to make 3 rows of single crochets. So continue, finish this part, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished this part here. I went ahead and added my snap buttons. Here they are. I'll go ahead and leave the link in the information box of the kit that I'm using. Now, here on this side, I went ahead and added this little trim, so I'm going to show you how I did it. So we're going to go right here. I'm going to use this 3mm hook. You can also use the 3.5mm hook. Just go down half a hook size if you're using any other size. And I'm going to use this 4-ply baby yarn. This is really thin yarn. You can also use the same yarn that you use to make the little outfit. Just use another color. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into this very first stitch right here. I'm going to grab a loop here. Chain 4, skip 1 stitch and into the next, make a slip stitch. Again, chain 4, skip 1 stitch and into the next, a slip stitch. Chain 4, skip 1 stitch and into the next, a slip stitch. Chain 4, skip 1 stitch and into the next, a slip stitch. This is all I'm going to do all around the legs, so continue. At the end, you're going to just cut your yarn and then pass your yarn through the last loop and then hide your ends, and this part is going to be done. Continue, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making this side. Here at the end, I just cut my yarn, passed my yarn through this last loop, and this part here is done. That's what it looks like. Here's the other side. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do one of the sleeves here. I went ahead and added this eyelet trim here around the sleeve. It's optional. I'm going to show you how I did it once I finish this side here. Now, to make the sleeve, we're going to do this side exactly in the same way as I did this side. You're going to do it in the exact same way. So to begin, we're going to go right here, right under the sleeve. We have, let's see, right in the middle, right about there. Insert your hook there, and we're going to grab a loop. I'm going to use this 3.5mm hook, and I'm using the same yarn. Now grab a loop, chain 1, and into this same stitch here, make a single crochet. Now, in between the next 2, make a single crochet. Between the next 2, a single crochet. Perfect. We have 3 single crochets. Now I'm going to make 3 half double crochets. So we have this double crochet right here. This is the last double crochet before we divided the sleeve. So insert your hook there and make a half double crochet. Half double crochet on top of the first double crochet for the sleeve, and a half double crochet into the second double crochet of the sleeve. So we have 3 single crochets and then 3 half double crochets. From here on, we're going to continue around the sleeve making double crochets, but we're going to work them in this way. I'm going to show you. So into this next double crochet right here on top through the back loop, make a double crochet. Into the next 2, do the same thing. So here I have 3 double crochets through the back loop. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing. I'm going to make 3 double crochets, but I'm going to go through the front loop only. The first double crochet, I'm going to work in this same double crochet where I did this one, but through the front loop like this. That's 1, and then into the next 2 through the front loop, a double crochet. This is what creates the little wave in the sleeves, see, like this. And now here I'm going to work 3 double crochets but through the back loop, beginning into the same double crochet where I did this last double crochet, through the back loop, insert your hook and make your first double crochet, and into the next 2, same thing, through the back loop, make a double crochet. So here are my 3 double crochets through the back loop, and then again I need to make 3 double crochets through the front loop. 1, 2, and 3. Again, 3 double crochets through the back loop, beginning into the same double crochet where you did the last double crochet, but through the back loop, make the first double crochet. And this is all we're going to do all around the sleeve until we come to the last 2 double crochets. So continue, here's the little wave here. Continue, and I'll meet you right about here, 2 stitches before we finish, to show you how we're going to finish this row. Okay, I finished this sleeve. I did my last group of 3 double crochets, and then I had 2 double crochets left. Into these 2 double crochets, I did 2 half double crochets, and then I did my 3rd half double crochet right here into the last double crochet before we divided the sleeves. And then I finished by making 2 single crochets here on this end. If you're able to fit 3, perfect. If not, 2 is okay. That's what I did here. And then I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn and pass my yarn through this last loop, and this part here is done. That's what it looks like. So now what we're going to do is this row of slip stitch chain 4, which is the same that we did here for the legs. So to do this with this 4-ply yarn and a 3mm hook, we're going to go right here where we finished. We're going to grab a loop, bring it through the front, and we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now skip 1 single crochet and into the next, make a slip stitch. Chain 4, skip 1 stitch and into the next, a slip stitch. Chain 4, skip 1 stitch and into the next, a slip stitch. This is all we're going to do all around, so continue and I'll meet you here at the end to show you the finished sleeve. Okay, I finished this last row here at the end. I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, pass my yarn through this last loop. So all I need to do is just hide my ends, and this part here is done. That's what it looks like. Now, if you want to leave the sleeves like this, it's fine, you can do so. But if you want to add some of this eyelet trim, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you. I have here about 11 inches, which is enough to go around the sleeve. And all I did here is we're going to go from the inside and we're going to start around this part here, this very edge of this last row that we did for the sleeve. So right in the very center right here, we're going to start. So leave a little piece here like this. And now you're going to need a needle and thread. So starting right here, just grab some yarn here and through the fabric and make these tiny, tiny little stitches here. Make sure that it doesn't go through the other side, and then continue along all around the sleeve. Position the fabric so that it's right here, right along this very edge of this last row of double crochets that we did. There. And just make a tiny little stitch where you grab some of the yarn and then grab some of the fabric along the very edge. That's all we're going to do. Now this is optional, like I said. The sleeves are done, you can leave them like that. In another tutorial, I'm going to do a little dress, and I'm going to do little sleeves, like Peter Pan style sleeves, so stay tuned for that as well. So I'm going to continue like this all around. This is what it looks like here on the outside. So I'm going to continue, and then I'll come back and show you the finished sleeves. Okay, I finished making this sleeve. I finished attaching the trim all around, and that's what it looks like. Now you're going to do the exact same thing we did here. You're going to do it here on this side. It's done in the exact same way with the same number of stitches. Everything is exactly the same. So the sleeves are done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to fix the neckline a little bit so that it looks nicer. So I'm going to start here in the back on this side. So just insert your hook right about here, right in the center, right there. Grab a loop here. I'm going to be using this 3mm hook. So here I did 1 chain, and into this same space here make 2 single crochets, and for each row here right along the very edge we're going to do 2 single crochets. Now I have my last row here, and then we have this stitch right in the center. Just go in there and make a single crochet 2. Let's see, right there, make a single crochet, and now we're going to continue along this other side in the same way, 2 single crochets for each row. Now I'm not going to add any buttonholes because I only plan to use 1 button for this part, and what I plan to do is this here is going to be my buttonhole. So the space in between the double crochets here is enough for me to use it as a buttonhole, so I'm not going to add it, and you can do the same. So here into this last row I'm going to add 2 single crochets, and then for turning I'm going to make 2 more here. That way this part looks nice. And now we're at the very top of the neckline, and that's what it looks like. So there, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to continue along the neckline. Same thing, single crochets, and we're going to reduce a stitch here on each corner. So I'm going to show you this here. If you want to reduce more stitches, you can do it in the same way. So 1 single crochet in between each one of the double crochets, and then here is my last space between these last 2 double crochets. So here I'm going to reduce. So insert your hook, grab a loop, insert your hook into this corner, grab a loop, 3 loops, close. So here it just reduced, and now I'm just going to continue in the same way. In between each of the double crochets I'm going to make a single crochet until I come to the next corner. So here I'm going to show you again how you're going to reduce on each one of the corners. Here's the last space between the last 2 double crochets, so insert your hook, grab a loop, insert your hook into the corner, grab a loop, 3 loops, close. Now just continue along and work these single crochets for the front side, and then you're going to do the same thing here in this corner and then here in this corner. Continue, and I'll meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished this row here around the neckline. Here at the end, I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and pass my yarn through this last loop. Now, this part here is done, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go around in the same way I did this here. This part here and along the legs here at the bottom. So we're going to do it here along the neckline. So here insert your hook into this very corner stitch right about there. Grab a loop here with this very thin yarn and this 3mm hook. You can use the same yarn. That would be up to you. So here you're going to chain 3, skip 1 single crochet, and into the next make a slip stitch. Chain 3, skip 1 single crochet, and into the next a slip stitch. Here I'm going to chain 3 instead of 4. If you want to do 4 chains, it's fine. I think it'll look best with just 3 chains. Chain 3, skip 1 single crochet, and into the next a slip stitch. This is how I'm going to continue around the neckline. Then I'm just going to join here, cut my yarn, pass my yarn through that last loop, and then I'm going to attach my button here. I'll go ahead and do this, and then I'll come back and show you the finished baby romper. Okay, I went ahead and finished this last row around the neckline. Here at the end, all I did was just make a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and pass my yarn through this last loop, and then I just hid my ends. I also went ahead and added this button. This button here is 11mm. Now, this is what it looks like from the back side. There it is, and this is the bottom from the back side. Let me turn it over here. This is the front side, and here's the bottom of the front side. Here's the opening, and these are the legs. Now, I also went ahead and did the matching headband. I already have a tutorial for this headband in my channel. I have it in a blue and white color and also in pink and white. So now let me give you the finished measurements. From the middle here of the neckline down to the middle here of the bottom, it's measuring about 15 inches, which is about 38 centimeters. This part here, the waist, just the top, it's measuring about 24 centimeters, which is about 9.5 inches. And this part right across here, the sleeve, it's measuring about 12.5 centimeters, which is about 5 inches. So based on these measurements, this little romper is for baby girls between 6 and 9 months old, but you can make it smaller or bigger. Just be sure to check out the information box below. I'll go ahead and leave some information there on how you can make it smaller or bigger from a newborn baby up to 18 months. So be sure to check that out. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.